everyone, 2022 is here, yet we still don't have flying cars. But at least we have video games. I'm gonna talk about my top 10 most anticipated games of 2022. If you don't know me, my name's Delilah, aka Asasina-san. Welcome back to my channel. And of course, it's likely that most of these games will get delayed as the year goes by. I can't predict that. I mean, last year I had Black Myth Wukong on my list, and that's not coming out till 2023. Who even knows if it's coming out in the States? So yeah, that's a thing. But this list is gonna go off of games that either already have release dates or they're slated to come out for 2022. Let's start with number 10, Gotham Knights. I wish we saw more of this game, but from what we've seen, we're playing as the Bat family. It's a co-op experience. That seems pretty cool. And I'm curious to see how they're gonna adapt the Court of Owls comics and also how Penguin as a homie plays out. I'm always hesitant about co-op games, especially superhero co-op games, because you know, we've been burned before. But hopefully the co-op experience doesn't take away from the story, and from what we've seen in the last trailer at DC Fandom, they seem to be really story focused, so that's pretty good. Number 9 is Bayonetta 3. The Bay is back. This might be a little bit of a reach, but I'm hoping that Platinum Games gives Bayonetta a revamp, kind of like Capcom did with the Devil May Cry series with Devil May Cry 5. But regardless, Platinum Games always excels in hack and slash combat, always makes their games really fun to play, so I'm hoping that Bayonetta 3 continues to deliver. Number 8 is Starfield. Now, maybe this would be higher on my list if we had seen more than a trailer of this game, but if it's anything like a Fallout or a Skyrim in space, sign me up. Number 7 is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's been so long since we've had another Rocksteady game, the last one being Arkham Knight, and I love the Arkham series. Arkham City is like one of my favorite games of all time. But I don't think Rocksteady's worked on a co-op game before, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out. But from the trailers we saw thus far, all of the Suicide Squad members seem to play differently, and all of the gameplay seems pretty smooth and fun. But I have the same concern for Suicide Squad that I do with Gotham Knights. How are we going to focus in on the characters and story and make that good while also still having a fun cooperative experience? Neither of these games have a date, so are we gonna get both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad later this year? I don't really know how that's possible. Like, are we gonna have to choose what co-op experience we wanna have? Suicide Squad or the Bat family? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure one of them's gonna get delayed. Number 6 is A Plague Tale Requiem. I really liked A Plague Tale Innocence. The story was super heavy and I really cared about the characters. The puzzles were also pretty fun and interesting, but it was really the atmosphere of the game that took me over. And based on the last trailer we got, I'm really curious how things went to shit again from Plague Tale Innocence, but I don't want to say any more on that as to avoid spoilers for Plague Tale Innocence if you haven't played it, which if you haven't, I highly recommend. It's a great game. The next game is a game that I don't think is going to come out this year because we don't even have an official title, but that's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. So like every other game on this list, we haven't seen much of this game. But if it's anything like Breath of the Wild 1, then I'm gonna have a blast. These games really excel in autonomy and exploration. The way I approach the open world is going to be very different from the way other people approach it. Breath of the Wild 2 also seems to be going down a darker path, kind of how Majora's Mask did from Ocarina of Time. But more than anything, Breath of the Wild is a super solid open world experience, and I'm hoping that Breath of the Wild 2 either stays the same or excels. Number 4 is Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Do y'all remember how fun Dying Light 1 was in 2015? Just bashing zombie skulls with your friends, and then there was a day and night cycle where at the nighttime there were like crazier zombies and everything was harder and freakier. It's so much fun. I don't know if the gameplay loop will vibe with me now in the way that it did in 2015. Maybe I'm just tired of like cooperative zombie experiences. This one is like Dead Island meets Mirror's Edge, and I always loved that combination, and it's been so long, so I can't wait to see if it holds up. Number 3 is God of War Ragnarok. This would have honestly been higher on my list had we seen more than just one trailer. And from what we've seen, it just looks like more God of War 18, which isn't a bad thing at all. It just doesn't seem like it's evolved in any kind of way, but it doesn't really need to because that game was super solid. In fact, it was one of my favorite games of all time, maybe like top 5. I also didn't like that in the trailer, Atreus was a whiny teenager, but I'm hoping that they navigate that into the narrative in a way that feels meaningful. Number 2 is Horizon Forbidden West. Now, this game we've seen a lot of. We had a pretty extensive gameplay trailer that blew me away. Horizon Forbidden Forbidden West seems like a complete glow up from Horizon Zero Dawn. The combat in Horizon Zero Dawn is super smooth and satisfying, and it seems to be even better in Horizon Forbidden West. Like, we even have the Breath of the Wild Paracel, which is dope, which was inspired from Shadow of the Colossus, but you know, whatever. I'm also curious to see the weaknesses in the new robot creatures, but more importantly, I want to ride them and make them my pets. I'm also curious to see all the new robotic creatures, especially the aquatic ones, because there seems to be a lot more aquatic sequences in this game than there was in the last game. I'm really excited to play all of the underwater sequences. Everything we've seen so far of Horizon Forbidden West seems amazing, and I'm super curious to see where the narrative goes from the end of Horizon Zero Dawn. Number 1 should come to no surprise to anyone. It is Elden Ring. I am a sucker for Souls games, and this seems to be mashing up all the Souls games, taking the best elements of Sekiro and Bloodborne, I hate that I said it like that, Sekiro and Bloodborne and Dark Souls games, mashing them together and making it an open world experience. Even the map and the panoramic views seem like Breath of the Wild, so I know we can't say every open world game is Breath of the Wild, but it did have many features of it, which is very intriguing to me, because I love both Souls games and Breath of the Wild, as mentioned in my number 5. And it's not just that I'm a sucker for Souls games, but we've seen a lot of this game, which really pushes it to number 1 for me. The enemies look cool, the open world is gorgeous, I'm just really excited to play this, and it's right around the corner. So that was my top 10 games that I'm anticipating in 2022. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'm also gonna list off the rest of the games that I'm looking forward to from number 11, so directly after number 10, Gotham Knights, all the way through number 20, and I'm not gonna go into it too much, maybe like a sentence and that's it. But I'd love to hear all the games that you're anticipating as well, so please let me know. Number 11 is the Callisto Protocol. This is a Dead Space spiritual successor in the PUBG universe. I'm really curious how that's gonna play out. I'm not a big fan of PUBG, but I do like survival horror, I do like the Dead Space games, so hell yeah. Number 12 is Hogwarts Legacy, a co-op Harry Potter RPG. Need I say more? Slytherin. Number 13 is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. This is a Final Fantasy Dark Souls, that's pretty dope. Plus, I really liked what we played last year of the demo they released. They had a lot of cleaning up to do, but there's been enough time before it releases in March, and I'm hoping we get another demo that shows how much they clean things up. Number 14 is Sifu, which is coming out super soon. It's a stylistic beat-em-up game where age brings different fighting strategies. It sounds really awesome, fun, and unique. Number 15 is Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, I was more intrigued at this game when I first saw the trailer for it. It seemed super creepy and trippy, like kind of like Tokyo Ghoul the game. But unfortunately, the more I've seen, the less I liked it. The gameplay just doesn't seem up my alley. Number 16 is Score. Now, we haven't seen any of this game in like, what, 2 years? But the super creepy alien phallic vibes that I'm getting is something I'm really interested in, as weird as that sounds. Number 17 is Forspoken, which had you asked me before like middle of next year, before summer, I would have said that this was my top 10 most anticipated, but the more I saw of this game, the actually less I liked it. The dialogue just seems a bit cringy, and it got more cringy with the more we saw. But if we have like Final Fantasy 15 level of like monster designs and fights, then that will at least be cool. Number 18 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Have you played Turtles in Time with a homie? It's so fun. I'm Leo, okay? Although I'm super curious to see how April plays. Number 19 is Outlast Trials. Let's get spooky. I love horror games, come on. And Outlast 1 was super scary, although I didn't play Outlast 2, but I heard it wasn't as good. But anyway, I'm hoping Outlast Trials has all the vibes of Outlast 1, at least the first half of that game. Number 20 is Sonic Frontiers, an open world Sonic, or dare I say a Breath of the Wild Sonic. The panoramic views, man, they just give such Breath of the Wild vibes. Before we end this video, I want to let you guys know what games I'm most looking forward to playing that have actual release dates. We'll go from January all the way through to December, but there's not that many games that have release dates, so there won't be that many to talk about. I pulled these dates from Game Informer's 2022 game release schedule, so you can go check that out if you're curious about other games that are releasing that I didn't talk about. So for January, the only game I'm interested in playing is Pokemon Arceus, but honestly, I've been burned from Pokemon games. I didn't like Sword and Shield at all, really. So I'll probably hold off on this until I see reviews and see what my friends think. February is going to be stacked. We got Dying Light 2, Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, and Elden Ring. For March, I'm looking forward to Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and I might play Tiny Tina's Wonderland depending on where I'm at with the games that came out in February. If I still have not gotten through those games, then I'll probably hold off on this one. April, I'm looking forward to Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, but once again, I'm not super sold on this game, so I might put it on hold and wait for a sale or something. May, I want to play Forspoken for sure. In August, we have Saints Row Remake, which I might also put on hold depending on how many other games came out. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot more dates by then because E3 would be over. So it'll probably be on my backlog if there's other games, but if not, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, that's really it. We don't have any other release dates, but we will definitely get some as we go along the year. But I did want to list the games that are slated to come out in 2022 that I'm looking forward to. So A Plague Tale Requiem, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which is a maybe for me, Bayonetta 3, Evil Dead the Game, Ghostwire Tokyo, God of War Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is a maybe for me, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which is a maybe for me, Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is also a maybe for me, Scorn, Sonic Frontiers, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, TMNT Shredder's Revenge, The Callisto Protocol, House of the Dead Remake, which is a maybe because I actually have House of the Dead available on original hardware, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, The Outlast Trials, Vampire the Masquerade, Blood Hunt, which is also a maybe. So that's it. Let me know the games that are slated to come out this year or that have dates that you're looking forward to. Let's talk about it in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other.